Hey boys, we're here today and we're going to talk about one of my favorite decks, one of my favorite archetypes, the Traptrixes. And this deck I have, not 100% original. I did steal some stuff, but I also have some extra options. There's a deck profile, meaning what the deck is and how it works, essentially. This is going to be slightly different because I don't think anyone on my channel really plays Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm going to be explaining these cards a little more. So this is a Traptrix deck based on the Traptrix archetype. I got my Traptrix playmat too. I like them because they're like anime girls, but they're based off of predatory plants and insects. Holes being their big niche. Animals and insects and bugs and shit. So yeah, let's just get into it. I'm gonna show it off. I know Panda's at least gonna watch it. So we're gonna start off with the monsters. Begin with 3 Lone Fire Blossom. 3 Lone Fire Blossom. You can essentially tribute it, a Lone Fire Blossom, to special summon a plant from your deck. You can use Lone Fire Blossom to activate its effect. You can tribute itself, and then it lets you search Nep and Dionea. So that's pretty useful. Really nice tech for a lot of plant decks, and pretty classic for Traptrixes. So we're going to start with the first Traptrix. Traptrix Mantis. This one's a Praying Mantis. It doesn't really have anything to do with holes. I don't even know why it's a Traptrix. Once you notice, they all have this unaffected by whole normal traps, so this is a pretty control heavy deck. My deck is essentially control, stun, and then beat them down when their field is pretty vulnerable. So this one is really neat because of its a quick effect, which lets you take a set spell you have and then replace it with one in your hand, which is really nice for retrieving stuff when you combine it with Dionea. But we'll get to that later. Then you have Atrax, Traptrix Atrax. Atrax being an Australian funnel web spider. Fun fact, they catch their prey by making these funnel webs and then luring animals and stuff into it. Here you have a cute little anime girl. So the real thing about Atrax is you can activate traps from your hand, whole traps from your hand, and you can't negate traps. So she's really neat. These two, however, are pretty niche, I think, in my opinion, or at least in this deck use. So they do stay at 1. Then we have our first two. New cam jank setup. Nepenthes. These are all gold rare, so their texts are kind of weird. This is a pitcher plant. You can see the little eyes. Again, it's got that same text. This one's really neat because it lets you search whenever you activate one of your traps. You could special summon or add a Traptrix. Again, it's at 2. It isn't the best, but it's definitely got its uses. Then we have Myrmelio, which is based off an ant lion, who make sand dunes. You can see like the teeth. I debate running her at 3. I just run her at 2 because I think Dionea is more consistent. The thing about her is she has her and Dionea have effects based on if you normal summon or special summon, because summon power is pretty valuable. There's her too. If you normal summon, you could add a trap hole, and if you special summon, you can remove a back row, so it works like a Mystical Space Typhoon, Dust Tornado if you special summon her. Again, it works. You could change off something like Nepenthes. Oh jeez. And then you have I run 3 copies of Dionea. Dionea being a Venus flytrap. It isn't really a hole, but kinda is. This thing about her is if you normal summon it, you can revive a Traptrix. However, if you special summon it, like I mentioned with Mantis, she lets you take one of your normal traps from your graveyard and then set it, but it gets destroyed next turn. The real kicker about this is using it on an enemy team versus an enemy. You could set up your field, and if you combine it with Mantis, you can actually just take it back to your hand. So that's it for like the actual trap tricks. Next up is the rest of the monsters. So we have 2 Goblinberg. If you don't know, if you normal summon them, you can special summon a level 4 or lower. This is more summoning power because you want Rafflesia. She's your boss monster. It's pretty much for summon power, and it's Earth type. Then you have the Kaijus. Run 3 Kaijus. This is a Kaiju core. If you don't know what Kaiju core is, they're really nice for spot removal. They all have this. You could special summon it to your opponent's side of the field by attributing a monster. So let's say they have, they have some like ridiculous boss monster. You want to get rid of it. You tribute it, and then you special summon. Essentially, what is a dead card, because they all have these unique Kaiju counter abilities that, unless you're specifically running them, they're pretty useless. So you can get rid of like a broken like effect monster and get like a worthless 2200 beater. Kumongus. 2400, and then I keep Thunder King for myself for I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to the card Interrupted Kaiju Slumber Plays. Fun fact, this is another favorite of my archetype. These are based off the Godzilla monsters. This one's a Gamera. This one is, I think his name is also Kumongus. And then this is obviously Ghidorah. Right? It's Ghidorah? The 3-headed one? Uses the name Thunder King, which is also another monster from the Kaiju universe. Then I run Fallen Angel of Rose. You just return a plant, and then you can special summon it. This is really neat. It's just a 2400 card. I do have some other tech in here that I'll get to the end. And then 2 Block Dragons. The only real notable thing about Block Dragon is you can banish 3 rocks, 3 earths to special summon it. And this deck essentially, aside from the Kaijus, all of these are earth except for Lone Fire and the Kaijus. So again, 2500 beater. I took this from someone. You could literally Google Trap Tricks deck, and then I think it's like he's one of the top like couple. So thanks, man. Next up to the spells. Spells aren't too important. You don't run too many of them. It is Trap Tricks, as the name implies. But I guess we'll start here. Double summon, more normal summon power. Again, you want to get Rafflesia out with pretty much any hand you draw. Scapegoat's really neat for linking. And then Kyoto Waterfront is a field spell. You honestly don't need to run this. I just like running it because I'm spicy. Basically, whenever stuff is sent from the field to the graveyard, plays a Kaiju counter. When you have 3 or more Kaiju counters, you could just add a Kaiju. And it protects itself if you remove Kaiju counters. So now you have Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. This is the main reason that the Kaiju core works. Basically, you black field, you black hole, and then summon 2 Kaijus to each side, and they must attack. You could also banish this to add a Kaiju, so that's pretty nice. Ideally, when you activate Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, you want to wipe their field, give them Gamma Seal, take Thunder King for yourself. That's it for the spells. There aren't too many. Next for the traps. This is the main brunt of the deck. So I run a Mirror Force. Everyone knows what Mirror Force does. I run 2 Torrential Tributes, since you can. Again, board wiping. Rafflesia should protect some of this. Anti-Spell Fragrance is really neat because you're weak to just back row, MSTs and junk. So Anti-Spell Fragrance is a continuous that basically turns spell cards into trap cards. You have to set them. Then I run a Treacherous Trap, which is really nice to open with. Just destroy 2 if you have no traps. I run a Floodgate, permanently face down a monster. I run a Void. You can negate the effect of a special summoned strong monster and destroy it. Then Traptrix Trap. 2 time spaces, which send extra deck monsters and hand monsters back. It works very well against swarm stuff, so if you try to swarm with a pendulum summon, you could instantly remove it. And then 3 bottomless trap, because it's no longer limited at all. So I do have quite a bit of trap holes, which you want to have because it is a Traptrix deck. Let's get to the extra monsters. So we have the boss monster. I run 2 Rafflesia. Rafflesia being based off of the, I don't remember what it's called. Here, if you know what the Pokemon Vileplume is, it's essentially this. So, the real kicker about this is it makes Traptrix's immune, essentially, and you can, I'm pretty sure it's a quick effect, you can detach, I don't know, no, actually it's not a quick effect, you can actually detach the material, and then take a trap hole from your deck, so usually you want to do Treacherous, where did I put it, Treacherous, if you throw away a material and a whole card, you essentially get to use it as you get to use that as effect, so that's really neat. Generic XC level 4 Tornado Dragon. Black Shipicorn. I stole this from that guy too. That guy's video. It's really neat. And I just think it's alright. Linkuriboh, it works very well with Scapegoat. If you noticed, I don't have actual level 1s. Linkuriboh is really nice since you can tribute it to pretty much protect it. You have a generic level 3 Decode Talker, really good arrows. You see important link arrows, and then Proxy Dragon, really good side arrows. I have more Proxy Dragons, but those aren't really, they're in my other deck. Here's some tech that I don't know if I'm gonna run. You have a Mono Iwado. I took it from that guy too. A really nice Spirit that essentially just stops effects. This is really for this is just really to just stun your opponent, which I didn't really want to do. So I tried to add an extra monster and be a little more aggressive. Then you have Lilith. Lilith is a really neat monster. But since I'm running Block Dragon and stuff, I don't want to pollute the deck without Earths. So basically what it does is you contribute a dark monster, including itself, reveal 3 traps, and then you get the set 1. So it works well with the deck, but I don't know if I want to use it. Level Limit Area B, a classic for again more stun. Dark Door, another classic. I was thinking about adding like a bunch of XE units to just keep Rafflesia tapped off, but I find that you don't really need it. Magic Planter. I was thinking about just keeping it until I need to get rid of Anti-Spell Frag, get a +2, and then, try to end the game from there. I don't know. So it's Revealing Light, classic stun. It's not that good. Dimensional Prison's pretty neat with Atrax. This is definitely something I want to run. And then standard negate stuff. Yeah, that's what my deck is. I really like the Traptrixes. They're such a really cool. I don't know, they have such cool art. Yu-Gi-Oh has such awesome art. Look at this. Look at these. Look at these cards. Look, you can see like the spider fangs and the, oh, hold on. What I'm talking about, I think they're when I mentioned that they're like anime girls that lure in for like monsters and stuff, you can see here. Here you can see Mermelio with like an antlion. You can see Nep, and then you can see Atrax. But it looks here like that it's a pet, but then here it looks kind of like that's not like a real person. I don't know. Maybe it's both. Hold on. I mean, like, I guess when you look at her, she doesn't have pupils, but then she does. She has pupils too. Hold on. Other Traptrix, like, does she have pupils? I don't know, I guess she does. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass.